Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast from your host ImperialDane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on. Guess it is Bocage, and north it is LittleSam fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the 5th Armored Division with Mechanized Company featuring Mechanized groups, Shermans, George calls the Dart Truck. Mortar half, of course, this is 76mm Sherman, cavalry rifle, and combined arms in the south. It is the one, the only ImperialDane himself fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, the Kampfgruppe Meyer. Here with Mechanized Assault featuring Assault Grenadiers, Mechanized Assault Groups, Stug 3s, Light Artillery Barrages, and the Tiger Tank, a Grenadier MD4 2-star versus Dart Rifle. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them and their valuable support, the Propagandacast would not be able to do what it keeps on doing. So big thanks to all those. Other people can join the Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. Links are in the video description. And if you're considering pre-ordering Covenant's fee, you can do so the link in the comments. Use the code COH2 as it is written there, and I get a 15% cut of the sale. So that's a great way to both get the game and support me. And also comment, like, share, subscribe, talk about what you liked. So, Dart Truck here for LittleSam. Apparently it was called the Big Jeep, or the Beep by the Americans. Arrived squad around the point here. West side, Grenadiers moving forwards here. Gonna go for some Assault Grenadiers here mixed in with the Grenadiers. As the Assault Grenadiers, well, obviously they need to get close. At the same time, they do have larger squad numbers, which I tend to prefer a bit in the longer run. I also really like the updated uniforms. And, you know, 6-man with some grenade assaults, they can really pack a punch. So, there are some elements there that makes me rather happy to use the Assault Grenadiers. Ralph Squad is first. Grenadiers moving to finish off the Yankees here. East side, there we got LittleSam moving up eastern side of aggressive there. West side, Relations moving up as well here. Dart Truck, the ground points, and this is waiting for its 50 cal upgrade. Grenadiers closing on the Ralph Squad here. Pioneers busy here. Machine moving up here to grab the center and support the Grenadiers. And we got the Assault Grenadiers moving westwards there. Ralph Squad up here, taking a bunch of hits here from the Grenadiers, down to 3 men already. Do they have managed to get themselves unsuppressed? Pioneer there being engaged for Ralph Squad. Down to 2 men here. We'll have to retreat soon. There we go. Routed. LittleSam, I believe, is already taken up. There we go. Going for the Lieutenant. The west side here. Reason's caught by the MP40 wielding Assault Grenadiers who quickly rip apart there. Bob causing the rest to hurriedly get out of there. Dart Truck moving up. 5th cal is on the way there for LittleSam's Dart Truck or Big Jeep. We got the 2nd Assault Grenadier squad out for me here. Pioneer retreating. I'm backing off here and trying to engage the Ralph Squad head on here while then heavy cover is going to be a bit pointless. So I'm heading more southwards. Probably expect him to move here for the southern fuel point. I'm going to try and set up a element there to make it a bit harder for him. Though, of course, at the same time, my 2nd Assault Grenadier squad will be sent up in such a way it can attack from the other angle there. Note, I'll also lay down sandbags here to make the fuel point a bit more defensible. Machine gun holding up here. Honestly, kind of rubbish setup when I look at it from this perspective here. Like, you know, big gaps in the north here. Doesn't really see a lot there. So definitely not my finest setup of the machine gun. There we go. Dart Trucks in the Ralph Squad. So yeah, punished here as I should be. No tech yet for me. I'll definitely be doing that soon. Ground Western Ponty with the Assault Grenadiers there. Moving forces towards the center to respond here to LittleSam's aggression there. Lieutenant there, moving northwards there we go. Assaulters was Lieutenant of Ralph Squad up close. One flaw in the Assault Grenadiers, then something that can make them a bit aggravating to use at times, is the way they spread out, so you actually don't get a lot of great DPS on the squad. Like, you know, half the squad will be close, the other half might be in at long range or something like that. That can make using the Assault Grenadiers at times a bit, you know, challenging, because they don't get, like, you know, assault rifle upgrades, or in this case for the Thompsons, better assault rifle upgrades. I'll wait, cover up, for LittleSam. I'm going straight for the car point. Honestly, not the brightest move here by me. There's a Dart Truck. There's a lot of other stuff nearby. Could risk them being pursued, run down, and wiped out and retreat here. I do rush in the 2nd Assault Grenadier squad, but this is still fairly risky by me and could end up costing me quite a bit here. So, bit of a thumbs down there. But still, I'm looking to mess here with LittleSam's fuel economy. Slow him down here. Of course, I really need to be more mindful. There we go. Cover up on the flank here. Machine gun setting up, but that may not be fast enough here. Ralph Squad going further deep here. We got Grenadiers on low health the east side. Ralph Squad cover up a party of MD4 2-5 close range to the assaultsman to further inflict harm, insult, and injury here to LittleSam's forces. Fix up the Dart Truck. Back here, I have teched up. I could throw in a Mechanized Assault group here soon. I may just go for the Mechanized Company, laying down a Telemine, since You know, a lot of the time you should expect some kind of light tank being tossed at you, in taking out the Dodge. Well, this would be pretty decent, but I'm clearly, you know, looking to maybe, you know, knock out a Stewart here, maybe an M20. Straight for the carpenter, of course, LittleSam knows it's going to come down to, you know, messing with my economy just as much as I know it's going to come down to messing with his economy there. Assault gun is up north, though. Again, bit more risky here, fairly extended, and again, there's that motorized element. They could get a wipe there. Ralph's got retreating. Could go for the Mechanized Assault group here. The 250-1 Leiterschützenpanzerwagen. Got the cavalry on the side, the Dart Shock here. Very potent motorized combo there. Thumbs up to LittleSam, of course, for setting up with it. And of course, this is really what I should have predicted what's going to be happening here soon. So that's definitely me getting very rightfully punished here by LittleSam for a, you know, bit of a tactical blunder, to put it, you know, mildly. I should have expected this would have happened, and the assault guns get wiped here by LittleSam. So good work there by LittleSam. Painful for me, obviously, but, you know, again, I should have anticipated it. Like to make a nice company, I'm going to go for 2 to try and stop it. Northern point here, doing about with the assault grenadiers, but again, once, you know, this bit connects up in my head, I start pulling a bit further back, so they're not quite as exposed to, you know, being rushed down by a Dodge truck filled with angry Americans in it. Ambulance all over for LittleSam, freedom and democracy. Following up, there's some punts are going to need to make up for the loss. Going to be setting up there as well. We're turning up in the center, and we got the ambulance out here for LittleSam. Pretending it's the Gunneys, Pioneers closing in there, go just retreats. Obviously could have fought the engagement, but that would have been senseless. Assault Grenadiers or Sturm Grenadiers here, based in the east of the MP40s. Rifle squad closing in here, right to the MP40s. Carl there gets ripped apart there by the Assault Grenadiers. Johnny falls into the afterlife there. Dart truck moving about here, 2-2 closing in with its autocannon and coaxial machine gun. Nearly avoids the Telemann here, Gunneys at the Pantherfaust, and right here, I make a mistake, allow the Dart truck to close to the cavalry, and of course pop an anti-tank satchel charge on the 2-2, and risk going to get knocked out here. Yup. Cavalry, in fact, could just shoot it through the rear here and finish it off here. So that ends up being a pretty great trade for LittleSam, truth be told. Dart truck for 2-2, even upgraded, isn't exactly bad there. Of course, I'm going to try and get a weapon to cavalry rifle, but I think that is going to evade me. So pretty good here for LittleSam. Less good for me. Close there to getting a wipe, though. Very close. Almost got the wipe. In fact, did I actually get the wipe? No, I do not. Rather than threatening the MD-42, I'm going for another Panzer Grenadier escort because I'm just going to heap on more assault infantry of the slightly, you know, punchier kind here. I know a lot of people like grenadiers. I like Panzer Grenadiers. I could also go on for assault grenadiers, and I think that wouldn't have been entirely wrong either. But I want Panzer Grenadiers out in part because at this point I may also need some Panzerschrecks here, in which case I want at least one Panzer Grenadier escort not upgraded. Car point being hit again, heading in the fuel point as well here again, trying my best to ensure that LittleSam doesn't get too much of fuel build up and I actually get a bit ahead on him in terms of fuel. Plus it helps in that sense, you know, slightly negate the losses by ensuring again, like, you know, he can't quite quickly, you know, take his advantages and like just rush them into like tanks. But there goes to a light tank there, done for LittleSam and the United States of America here. Panzer delivers the advancing Lieutenant Echelon, time for North here with the cavalry rifle machinery positioning. Other Panzer is coming up, but there you go. The Raketen Panzerbüchse. Ready here for the Panzerzerstörer. Maschinengewehr setting up for the cavalry rifleman. As he tries to flank around there, Panzer needs to retreat before they get murdered out. Assault is catching the cavalry rifleman close here. Gonna be a bit brutal here between the two, but the cavalry riflemen here do come slightly ahead. But this does give the MV-42 team enough time here to suppress them, and then the Panzer there pretty much just force the Americans to further just haul out of there. Fine for Northern Carponic on his crew could wiped out if not paying attention. Meanwhile, Panzer teaming to do with the Stewart here, at least convince the Stewart to relocate to a less Germanic area. There goes Stewart blasting away the machine gun with the incendiary piercing rounds. Tech on the way for me. Grenadiers and assault grenadiers, or Panzer grenadiers and assault grenadiers reinforcing. Grenadiers about to get wiped out here. And there you go. They got wiped. Few hits in the Stuart light tank. Another hit there from the Panzerschreck right through the side armor. 88mm rocket there. But pretty much knocked out most tanks in the war. Results are known as the often were though, because while not shown here in the game, in fact most things, they kicked up a lot of like smoke and such there, like making the position very visible. Little fun fact there. Gebäudeladung here, mostly just to prevent them from just rushing straight at my Panzerzerstörer team here. Machine gun, Panzergrenadiers assault in the center here. Bait shot and infantry again, well at least I got 3 squads minimum. Meanwhile, LittleSam operating with 4 squads still, going for a 3rd Panzergrenadier squad because, you know, I've already got so many. Why not a few more? Turned here, being hammered by the Panzergrenadiers, the assault grenadiers are forced to retreat here. Cab rifle caught by the MiG-42 team in the center, though again, bit of an exposed position. No real cover here, and again, the flanks are exposed. I should be more mindful of that. Panzergrenadiers, the rifle squad, though sadly, despite the unit, you know, having several members out in the open for some reason, I don't know what's going on there. My guess is, though, for some reason, they decided to find the ones not in the open, the heavy cover, at which point, again, you might notice the squad takes very little damage, it suffers no casualties. Though again, they're clearly at least several members bloody well out in the open. That's a bit of one of those oddities of the game sometimes. Like, what you imagine is going to happen and what happens sometimes gets messed up because of the way units can prioritize various members of the squad. Yeah. Anyway, still rushing out there for LittleSam. Panzer goes in the center as the cab rifle. We got the Panzerschreck teaming up here as well. If I'm unlucky, the Panzerschreck team will actually hit the Tellermine and, you know, set that off. Fortunately for me, at least, that doesn't happen. LittleSam and the Americans will keep pushing against here. The Kampfgruppe composed of various armored reconnaissance elements, backed up by armored elements. In fact, it was not uncommon for the armored reconnaissance elements of a Panzer Division, that is the Panzeraufklärer, to actually act, so say, as well, what a core element of a reconnaissance unit working together with some panzers. Panzer here is the rifle squad. Stuart opening up on them as well. Virtually 2 they achieved for the Panzergrenadiers, but they're about to also achieve death if I'm not careful and retreat them in time. One thing I do have going for me is overall just victory points, while I'll be able to like maintain a state advantage here with LittleSam. North here, assault guns round rifle squad here. Half H of Veteran 3. Panzerschreck team there getting snapped a bit here by the Stuart. Rocket missed. 5th car there for LittleSam, Freedom and Democracy in the southeast region, going for the fuel point here. Meanwhile, I do get the Supremo Corps here, despite everything. Again, I have been able to, like, you know, maintain a steady advantage in resources over LittleSam, and I'll be actually able to leverage that into, like, a relatively fast-ish panzer here. Rushing out, there you go. Hits the Tellermine, just as planned. Except, you know, significantly delayed. Would have been much greater, of course, if it'd been knocked out immediately, but still, the Stuart is gone, and this, you know, gives me a bit more freedom for my infantry and machine guns, so thumbs up, I guess. Still, LittleSam got map control here now, even if he has to walk right past the flaming wreckage of his once proud light tank.
Let's give them hell, boys. A capture point is under attack.
Comes to the lieutenant. Lots of Sturmgewehrs here versus El Teniente. And in fact, the lieutenant is one of the first to drop there, significantly depreciating the overall firepower the squad can deploy upon. He's been caught with the cav rifleman, ripping through them, and could actually get a wipe here, which is obviously going to be rather awkward for me. No, for once, I don't get a wipe. Unit there. For a brief while, LittleSam acts both fuel points there. Cav rifle come the assault grenadiers. Again, the Thompsons really do provide a significant boost here. And the assault grenadiers just, you know, don't. I mean, they can get a 6-man upgrade, but while that certainly has a lot of benefits, it's not, in terms of DPS at least, the equivalent of, like, you know, 2 assault rifles. Still about to go on the point here. Machine sitting up here. Note, by the way, this is a poor setup by me, particularly this is barred up rifleman. It'll get wiped and then grabbed by the Americans. That was a bad tactical decision there by me, for sure. And LittleSam, of course, gets rewarded by my bad decision with a machine gun. Panzer being ripped apart the rifle up close. We got the other more veteran ones moving in here. 5th Cavalry around the close to the victory point here. Panzer team there, moving up the field point, closing on that Panther 4. Fuel-wise, I'm there. Manpower-wise, I'm obviously struggling a bit. Got a 50 cal tram in the center here. Assault gunners moving out there, not fully reinforced. That is a bit of an oversight there by me. And I probably should have treated that Panzer Grenadier team as well. But I'm going to try and rush in here on the 50 cal's flank here with my Assault Grenadiers. There we go, force them to retreat. Panzer Grenadiers almost took out the Lieutenant though. I stopped it there, but not quite though. Almost got the fuel point back. As for LittleSam, we do get some tech on the way there. And I'm moments away from being able to call in the first Panzer Kampfwagen 4 here to support the Kampfgruppe. There we go. Panzer Kampfwagen 4 on the way. East pawn there. Panzer team moving up there. Assault gunners there, basically in the center, about to be assailed here by the Yankees. Closing in on them. And right in the east here by the American MD-42. Panther 4, 2/3 of the way done there. Grabbing the car point. And again, there's continued theme of ensuring my opponent doesn't get like too safe of fuel build-up against me. So I can that way, you know, try and gain an arm advantage against my opponent. There we go. Panzer Kampfwagen 4 effectsbereit here. Forcing once more. I should obviously at some point, you know, get the veteran squad leader to the assault gunners because again, in some regards, while not just as straight up powerful as the addition of 2 Thompsons, it's still quite good, really. It has a lot of benefits. Now, this machine gun net easily fends off the 2 Panther Grenadier push. Sadly, I can't just have my troops run along on my tanks. We'll have to wait for Companies 3 before they can just, you know, ride along. And I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's going to give my tactics a nice boost. But until then, Ralph scores the Panther 4 and the Panzer team here. Quickly routed. Fuel upon them being seized once more by the Yankees, the Amerikaner. Troops setting out here again for Deutschland. I've got straight here. Right, machine gun team there being very much instructed to vacate the premises forcefully. As only the Germans can do it. Assault is flanking up behind the 5th car. They're out maneuvering here. Up close. MP4 is there ripping through. And certainly annihilating it. Veteran field, the assault guns really do pack a punch and should not be taken lightly. It's just, the trick is getting there at times. Ralph Squad's getting flanked with the Panther 4. Another brutal hit here on LittleSam and the United States of America here. Panzer's closing in there. Ralph's lieutenant could also be in trouble here. 5th cal seized by the assault grenadiers. Almost got the lieutenant, and he is forced to retreat as well in the face of the German Reich. Got the major with his bazookas there, trying to stop the German armored menace. Good shot there. Second shot goes through as well, heading northwards for the assault grenadier 50 cal. My God, Otters, these things are heavy, yeah. It almost weighs as much as an American. Handful, of course, could do with some light repairs. Got the Sim 6 machine with for LittleSam, freedom and democracy. They're getting flanked though. We retreat here, and obviously I retreat them as well. Obviously, as long as this anything was safe, I could just get away with just having a depleted assault gun grab the point here. But obviously, as soon as things get heated, you just, you know, get out of there. Need to fix up that Panther 4. And I probably should bring up more pioneers, honestly, at this point to assist with repairing my Panzerkampfwagen. A bit more schnell. Meanwhile, again, reinforcements soon to bound happen here. Still should upgrade with the veteran squad leader there. And we got Ace Panzer Grenadier here versus the Rav squad. Ravman definitely not. Actually, in this case, the negative card apparently they're getting here should benefit. But there we go. Further damage inflicted. Other Panzer Grenadier squad arriving. Got the Sherman ready here for LittleSam, freedom and democracy. Straight to the MD-42 here under LittleSam's command. Panther 4 being fixed up. Troops setting up once more from the base. At this point, though, I might actually be scheming for another Panther 4 first before going for another Pioneer squad. I really should bring in another Pioneer squad first, to be honest. At least just go for Struger, then the Pioneers. That said, obviously the pressure from the infantry and the sheer number of casualties I've suffered so far is, I think, sort of indirectly in my head, pushing me towards just going for another Panther first, because again, the losses have been harsh, and I do need something to help keep, LittleSam's infantry in check in case I lose another squad. 5th Cal being outflanked with the cavalry rifle there, but we got the assault grenadiers rushing in, and this time getting the upper hand here on the cavalry rifle, in part because they're focusing on the 5th Cal, meaning the assault grenadiers get a lot of free shots. And again, if actually free, they do have a fair amount of accuracy, at which point, again, the 6th guy from the veteran quality upgrade is actually quite good. Or even better. 2nd Panther for me, 1st Panther almost fixed up. Comfortable Maya slowly stabilizing against the Americans. Sam Bine also managed to bring down the victory point closer to his. Got the 5th Cal being hauled towards the center. Major's about to be caught. Tactical group here with Panther Grenadiers and Pioneers backing up the Panther 4 here. Certainly has a lot of potential. Panther 15 they're being caught. But the machine gun should be forced to retreat here soon. As long as the route here by Lieutenant. Sherman rushing in from the east here. Panther 4 number 2 almost done here. Artillery fire called in here by LittleSam against my possessions, messing things up there. 2nd Panther 4 almost done here for Deutschland. Sherman rushing forwards here, looking to kill some goddamn crowds. Shoots, misses the Panther 4. 2nd Panther arrives here to support the Kampfgruppe Meyer. Panzer Squad Ace level engaging the rear echelons. The bazooka certainly for naught against the might of the Sturmgewehr 44. Riflemen charging into them. That is not working out well for them. Almost gets a wipe there on LittleSam. 2nd Panther getting ready, going straight for the Sherman. Great shot here. And suddenly the Sherman is actually in a bit of a bad spot. It's now against 2 Panther 4s and no real anti-tank teams to support it here. There you go. Knocked out. He does deploy smoke, but sadly it just comes too late here against the might of the German Panzerwaffe. We got the cavalry rifle equipped now with a BAR on top of their Thompsons, which is also another advantage they can get. They can actually go for Thompsons and then add an additional weapon here for increased firepower. But against 2 Panther 4s, obviously they fall a bit short. I've also lost another Panzer Grenadier squad. Troops heading out here. Some heading northwards, others heading eastwards. Definitely, should probably add in some more infantry. And there you go. Finally do go for some more Pioneers, by the way. Thumbs up to me on that account, but definitely a bit late. Rifle squad here now met with 2 Panther 4s with pinblunt machine guns. That is, by the way, a lot of firepower. I know some people aren't big believers in the pinblunt machine guns, but I tend to find they're quite a good upgrade to have, really. They've become very interested up the Americans there, of course, looking to outmaneuver my Panzers with the bazookas, but can't outmaneuver a 50 cal head on. Jürgen, what was that accent? Oh, sorry. I think it's this machine gun gewehr. Rakete and Panzerbüchse team there, Rifle Squad machine gun there, anti-tank, and LittleSam was also going for the captain. Obviously means more infantry. So, I mean, there's always a handy thing in there for the Americans. Reasons like tech breach or branch out in terms of attacking, but in this case, obviously, means anti-tank guns with which to face off against my Panzerkampfwagens. Panther 4, they're receiving repairs.
Anti-tank gun, ready for action.
5th Cal caught by the MD-42. North here, the soldiers should be able to advance to the northern fuel point, and again, once more mess here with LittleSam's fuel economy. Calling in the mighty Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung E, which would have been, at least for Normandy, likely been part of a training and replacement battalion, or Panzerausbildungs- und Ersatzabteilung, which for the few, and they actually operate a variety of older model Stugs, French tanks like the Hotchkiss and the Renault, but also some older Panzer IIIs as well. Fun fact. Made them about with the Stugi. North here, moving about being flanked by the assault grenadiers though. Quick grenade assault. There go, being caught up with the anti-tank. The bazooka team, there's Stugi, though, draws the fire for the Panzers, inadvertently. On the west side here, 5th Cavalry Lieutenant here. Bazooka team being blasted here by the Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung E. Of course, even as these kind of, went out of service and used mostly for training units, I mean, the gun itself still saw plenty of service. They just moved towards half-tracks and armoured car designs, so that way provide support. For example, 250 half-track had a version with this gun. The 251 had a version with this gun. They even had like a version of the same armoured car, you know, the Puma Space Storm, with the same, you know, 75mm cannon. So, little fun fact there. Light anti-tank mines here from LittleSam. Moving back west here, Panzer continuing northwards. Another Sherman there for LittleSam. Stuggy bombardment rifleman, decent shot there. Also, of course, got the machining gewehr mounted on that one. One swap, El Capitan there. Not quite. Looks like he's pushing ahead with the anti-tank gun, which does give me an opportunity to put out some flanking with the Panther because I can see the anti-tank gun is moving. This gives me a window opportunity to just charge in, as you've seen me doing here. Blitzing in with Panther 4s, completely outpacing the anti-tank's ability to respond to this, and also catching a lot of LittleSam's troops on retreat now. A dashing German blitzkrieg here, completely blindsiding LittleSam. Because a lot of the time, most German players are not going to do this, but you know, I am, because again, if I sense weakness, like ever since my opponent moving in like this, I'll typically see that as an opportunity to strike and really hit them hard. And I'm, in this case, push straight up to the base and start blasting inside the base here. Casualties piling up here. Men are dying in the droves here as the might of the German Panzerwaffe keeps punching away their into LittleSam's all-American face. Sherman moves into flank here, trying to save the situation here. I'm also rushing up with the 250 half-tech for a bit more infantry. That said, I did fail to keep pace with my Panzer push here with the rest of my units here. Bit of an oversight of me, almost cost me my Panther 4 here. Got the cav rifle moving up here. Shot fired. Sturmgeschütz Ausführung moving up. We got bazookas left behind. Half to this sets off the mine.
The supply line just got cut off.
What happened? I think I know someone's dog. Someone's dog explodes? Maybe it was an American dog. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Come on, boys, listen up.
And it's time to fix up. Right here, though, I'm actually making a tactical mistake. You might be wondering what mistake I'm making. Well, in this case, I'm actually positioning my units so the terrain divides them, which makes it easy for some theory for like LittleSam to like just attack them one by one. Like they can't easily support each other. Plus, it becomes hard for me to like to get them like out of a bad spot. So tactically, this is actually kind of bad. What I should be doing is actually pulling towards here where they can support each other more easily, and they aren't, again, you know, can more easily maneuver into a better position. So definitely a mistake here by me. Thumbs down on that one. Of course, playing at that point, of course, only realized my mistake until after the match. But, you know, still worth pointing out there, I messed up. And why I messed up. Specifically the mess up there. Penetrating around, he almost got the Sherman. Bouncing a few shots here. We got Ralph doing what they can here. Panther 4 kaput here. Sherman somehow dodges it all there. Absolutely great luck here for LittleSam. Except, of course, he's still got a lot of dead men. And his base still, you know, looks pretty bad as well there. Panther 4 being knocked out. He's definitely getting the most out of his jumper there. Goat gets abandoned. Infantry charging my Panther 4. We got Satchel charge there. Stug E kaput as well. The half track setting up for defensive fire mode. Assault gunners did move up there as well. Utter chaos here though. Utter madness. Another Satchel charge here on the Panther 4. We got the punchman from one side. Panther 4 that survives. But most of LittleSam's infantry is not. Goodbye to lightning and the cav rifle. Assault gunners doing what they can here. Finally getting that upgrade, by the way. Way to go, Dane. Gets the cav rifle and also finally wiped. An absolutely carnage-filled scene here. So GG game over. Bit of a shorter match, you know, but I still think an entertaining and educational match here. A nice highlight of Assault Gunners, but also the power of the Panther Grenadiers and the Assault Grenadiers when you don't completely misplay them like I did a few times throughout this match. But also, you know, again, the importance of a good assault and the effects they can have on your opponent. Of course, also the importance of them, of course, not setting yourself up in a really bad defensive position like I did there. But also, you know, the importance of, you know, resource harassment and a bit of tenacity too. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating on Patreon. Support the glorious war effort. This is ImperialDane saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.